Good morning, guys. It's Saturday. Little chilly out this morning, so I'm bundled up, but the sun is shining, so I'm hoping to make some good progress today. As you can see behind me, the siding has arrived. We took the new batch yesterday, came in about 10:30 and started putting this up. Worked until yesterday evening. There's a little bit of a learning curve to this, no big deal. Putting the panels up just in and of themselves are pretty easy to do. It's pretty easy. But when you get to like your windows, the trim details, you have to kind of think things through a little bit. And I think for the manufacturer, this may be kind of a newer product, so there's not a whole lot of guidance on how to install it. So I'm just kind of taking what I've found on YouTube and what I've been around and kind of applying it here. So we're up to the second window here. We're going to do the trim around that. I'm going to show you how the panels go on and how I'm doing the trim around the window. So stay tuned. Should be a good one. Okay, so this is the panel. Kind of give you a look at the end. You can see this side is hemmed. This is the side that the clips go on. And then this bottom side here slides in to this groove, and the clips kind of hold both panels together. So they're 1 foot wide, and these are actually 89 inches long. You can custom make it from the manufacturer to whatever length to the nearest inch you want. Because my distance from my stone to my soffit falls in between the inch, I have to shave a little bit off of each one, which is not a big deal. It's just time consuming. I'd rather have them be a little longer than too short. As far as the other hardware, here's what I'm using. These are the clips. It's just a small metal clip that clips onto the hem, and I'll show you how this goes on. And then I'm putting it on with these pancake wood screws here. I'm putting it into the girt boards. So these clips go every 2 feet, and they get fastened through the sheeting to the girts with these. And so far it's been working out pretty good. Putting the panels up themselves is really simple. Let me go show you the last one that I put up last night, and then we'll get into this window trim detail. Okay, I'll try to do the best I can here with the sun. All right, so here are the clips. You can see these just go, the panel actually, these clip onto the panel and then gets fastened to the wall, and that holds the panel in. So every rib, there is a clip underneath every 2 feet. Just run all the way up. The most important thing, again, to make things easy on yourself, is to get started out square, plumb. And I did that by setting my corners. If you haven't watched that video, the trim detail is in, I think, part 1 is what I labeled the video. But get these plumb, and then that'll make running these the rest of these pretty easy, because you get the first one square or plumb straight, and then these clip in, and there's not a whole lot of give. I've been checking every panel as I go up with the level to make sure that I'm staying on the money. And you can tweak them like a 1/16 of an inch or so, but beyond that, you're gonna start running into problems, and it would really become apparent right here. If you got your window set square and then you don't have your siding square, you're gonna run into an issue where you have a gap differential from the top to the bottom. So take the time and get it as close as you can, and it'll make the rest of the build a little easier. All right, so we're up to this window. As you can see, when I get to the end, I'm not going to be able to put clips in, because as I come down to this end, the panels end inside my C channel here. I kind of have an idea on how I think I might tackle that, because I don't think it's going to be enough with this panel that slides up underneath here. it slides up underneath this clip when it clips in here. I don't think it's enough to really hold it into high wind situations. So I have an idea on how I'm going to do that. This presents a little bit of an issue as well. And I'll show you the trim detail on that. I'm making basically a skinny J to clip the end in here because I have to rip a piece, and it seemed to work out okay. The other side is a little bit easier because you put your clips in on this side of the window. So this came out, I was right on the edge of a rib, which isn't optimal, but it is what it is at this point. And we ran with it. I think the finish on it looks pretty good. It looks nice. And the J that I'm talking about, the skinny J that I made, you can kind of see it up, maybe up under here. So I'll show you how I did that piece and how this piece slides in there, just to kind of help hold it a little bit. It's not really, it's 26 gauge steel, so it's not floppy, but I wanted just a little extra insurance, and I can also hide my cut end there with that trim piece as well. So that's what we've done. All right, let's get to this next window. Each panel here is just a little bit long. The manufacturer orders it to the inch, so I have to trim off a little bit off of each panel, and I'll show you how I'm doing that because you have some ribs to deal with. Don't really need any fancy tools with this. I debated about spending a lot of money on sheet metal tools, but not really needed. So 88 1/4. All right, first I take my green snips on this end, and we'll kind of work around here. And you just keep cutting and bending it over. And this doesn't have to be perfect because it's being hidden by the J channel at the top. So I always cut my panel. Try to hide my cuts, I guess I should say. Try to leave the manufacturer's and the exposed end if I have to. So those are my greens, then I come back with the reds. Snipping through this hem's not too big of a deal, I just have to bend it back out so we don't close it off, so the next panel can clip in. I must say, I really enjoy doing the steel work. It's really fun, in my opinion. And that's it. So now my panel is to length. So now we have to rip it. All right, we have our piece cut for our window. It's gonna go up just like this. So the window is gonna sit right in here on this side. So let's go put it up, see how we did. Really kind of stinks being alone. Got to carry the camera around. I need like a crew. That would be nice. All right, trim piece. I had some scrap pieces here. Let me see if I can show you this trim piece here. Get you in a spot where the light's good. So I had some extra pieces that were damaged, and I I just ripped off a piece, and the key for this is to have the color on the outside, because this will go up against the window, and then the next piece is going to slide right in here, make it look nice. This doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to be completely covered, so not a big deal. We're going to screw this next to the window. So let me show you that. So this piece is going to go right like that and be fastened in. And then when I clip this piece in, this section goes right into that hem, and that helps to hold it in there. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that now. All right, that piece is in now. All right. And that's a good fit there. I'll give you a little close up. So there you can kind of see how that piece, it just hides the cut end, and it helps hold that piece in there. And then what we'll do is we'll put 2 clips at the top, and this piece will be clipped in. And what we'll do is, once we get the piece in there secured, I'll just take a little piece of wood shim and just kind of hammer this down so it's tight, just to help hold that in there. Right, here is the finished product. Kind of hard to see, but that's all sealed up now. All the way up to the top. Now we're just gonna finish running these pieces over, and then I'll show you how I'm doing the piece over here, because this piece has to literally slide in and into the next piece up top, and then you put the clips down here. So this piece is secured pretty good with the clips. It's got full set of clips on it, but you have to get it around the top up front, and that is a little bit of a challenge. All right, this side of the window turned out just the same. Actually turned out good, because the rib ends right at the edge of the window, which is nice. Got a nice tight seal there, and that's probably a little bit better than the other window. This one was a little difficult to get in because you have to knock it over to clip it in, kind of like vinyl siding and back. So what I had to do is shave just a little bit of the back lip off, the back bend, to get it to clip in there. Otherwise you're going to end up with a big gap here when you move it this way to clip it in up top, if that makes sense. But this window's done. I'm happy about that, and we're going to finish up and get all the way to the corner. And then I think what I'm gonna do for the corner is bend up this end piece in here. When I get to the end, we'll bend it up and then pop rivet it to this piece. We'll see how that turns out. Probably get to that on Monday because I don't have any pop rivets this color. So I'll have to go back to the manufacturer and pick some of those up. But so far so good. Finish running this up and then we'll go to the other side and get some of those ran. All right, guys, just finished up getting shop all set up for the day. We're cutting pieces for the gabled ends, and I'll show you how we're doing those. Just give you a little look at where we stopped yesterday. So there's a look. We've completed this side all the way up to the post here. At some point in here, I need to have my electric service entrance installed, and I'm waiting on Duke Energy to come out. I want to talk to the gentleman about the service entrance there. And we've moved back around here and we're running along the front side. So we've done this yesterday. My wife and I got that all finished up to about halfway through on the garage door. And this side is pretty much all finished with the exception of one piece at the very end that I need to rip, and we're holding off on that in case I have a damaged piece. That'd be a good spot to put it. And then of course the back side of the building we have yet to start, but the next challenge is going to be this piece right here, because we'll need to trim that off, and getting that to slide over, lock into place and slide back and have it look nice is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll work through it. All right, let me show you how I'm cutting these, because the angled cuts are just a little bit tricky up under the gable. Okay, I've taken my measurement on the short end of this angled cut. So we're gonna start off by marking 69.5. And my roof pitch is a 612, so that makes things easy. This panel is 12 inches wide, so if I measure 69.5 here, I add 6 inches over here, and that'll get my angled cut. But I have this rib to contend with, so what I'm doing is using my carpenter's square here, putting it on the 6 for the common line, putting a mark there, putting a mark down here for the cut there. And then we'll make a mark over here. We're gonna add 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't trust my public math here, so 75.5. And then we do the same with the square here. 6 on the common line. Make the mark there, and then I connect the two. That seems to work pretty good. Now we're going to cut end off. And this is where it gets a little finesse here. I'm using my red snips, and I'm going to cut through this hem and then cut my line. Pulling this steel up as I go. This stuff is kind of sharp. I should be wearing gloves, but I haven't cut myself yet, so I'm just being extra careful. Okay. And then we're gonna cut this line, and what I do here is I need to be able to pull this stuff around as I cut. So I make a couple of angled cuts here, and then I'm able to cut that around, up, go back to my reds. And then I just remove part of this so I can make my last cut. And the cool thing about all this scrap is it's recyclable. So I'm throwing everything in a box to put in my recycling. Actually, it'd probably be better if I just cut this off. And my last cut here. All right, let's go put this piece up. I'm gonna open my hem back up here that I closed from cutting it. And there's my angled cut, as you can see. We'll go get this up. And that's it, rinse and repeat. Okay, here is the last video for part 2. We've run these out to the edge of the garage door, ran a few more pieces here, talked to Duke Energy. They came out, we have the underground path marked where we're gonna trench in the power. Meter base is gonna be mounted on the wall here. We'll start on the rough-in electrical. And that probably we'll get started on that tomorrow morning, but I'll save that for another video. And hopefully tomorrow get this finished up. So we're gonna call this a wrap on part 2 of the siding. And part 3, we will show the meter base location, trim out, and corner pieces. Should be a short video, but we're well on our way to being done with the siding. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.